size. It's okay if one's a little bigger than the other. Okay. Symmetry. We're going to add decorations. I'm adding some flowers because I know that they used flowers to kind of lure back the dead, their loved ones. So they thought that, their loved ones might want to come back and visit for a pretty flower. They might enjoy the pretty flower. So I'm going to draw a flower up here. And a lot of times these sugar skulls, they're very symmetrical. So I don't know, maybe you remember that. That's one of our vocabulary words is symmetry. Symmetrical means the same on both sides. So like I could cut it down the middle here and it's going to be pretty well the same on both sides. Now your designs, they might be a little unsymmetrical. Sometimes that's okay. But for the most part, they're going to be symmetrical. So see, I did that to that side. I'm doing this to this side. Again, you can decorate yours however you want. If you choose something else, you can do something different to decorate yours. So these little dots in the eyes, maybe. You can do flowers in the eyes. A lot of times there will be flowers in the eyes and kind of bigger flowers too. So let's see. Sometimes they will add kind of swirly lines. So there's some kind of swirly lines. And if you're going to fill your nose in, you might want to come in and do the other part of that line. I've had a lot of people ask me, how do you do those swirly lines? Like they've never done them before. And that's another thing, vines. Vines, a lot of times there will be like vines and leaves. So that's where the swirly lines come in. I'm doing a line and I'm just curving it. Just like that. Swirly line. Okay. Okay, so there's the swirly line. I've got one on the other side. Doesn't have to be identical, but I've got one. You might want to draw a little leaf. I'm trying not to do my designs too small. That way, once I want to add color, it won't be so hard to color in these tiny, tiny, tiny little things. Okay, some people add mustaches. So to do that, you would just draw a line here and kind of make it, a swirly line right there and another one over here for a mustache. If you want to, guys, you don't have to. Again, it's up to you. I think I'll draw another flower right here. And look, I did a half circle. There's a curved line. This curved line touches it. Curved line touches it. Curved line touches it. That one's going to kind of hang off. Let's see. I'll do some swirls. Okay. You might want to add, just these little dots. And I don't mean like dot. I mean like dots. Okay. And let's see. Maybe it needs something right in here. I'm not sure what. Maybe I'll make the nose a little more decorated. These curved lines, and these things you could do around the eyes. You see them a lot of times around the eyes as well, just like this. Now, it's very important that you learn to actually draw this and aren't tracing maybe the little sugar skulls that I may or may not have at your table, because in a few minutes, or maybe I've already put it at your table, you will have a large half sheet of paper, and you're going to have to fill it in as big as you can and draw a sugar skull that's much bigger than those little things at your table. So that's why it's really important that you learn to actually draw it and don't just trace it. Tracing can be good to practice things sometimes, but at the end of the day, if you don't learn to draw from tracing it, then it's not doing any good. And yeah, I should do the other eye. That is something I should do to make it symmetrical, because right now this is not symmetrical because it's not the same on both sides. Sometimes you see crosses drawn on the forehead. In Mexico, Catholicism, or being Catholic, is really what most people are. They go to the Catholic Church. So this isn't some kind of like terrible satanic something. They go to church. They believe in God just like we do. Now, I mean, not everybody, of course, because do all of us, are there people out there that don't? Yeah, of course there are, but the majority of Mexico is Catholic, and they do have that belief system. Okay, so I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. Something else you could do, maybe you want a few of these dots just to give it some unity, which means I've used kind of the same patterns throughout. I might want to add some of these little dots in other places on my piece. Maybe another one over here, like that. Okay, I would color this in right here, but you get the idea. You can do this. Do not freak out if you are, because I have had so many people freak out that I can't draw. Oh, Miss Jordan, I need so much help, I can't draw. Don't do it. You can draw. It takes practice. Practice. I say it all the time. Michael Jordan was not awesome the first time he went on the basketball court. It took him a lot of practice to get as good as he is. Okay? And drawing is the same way. I used to draw stick figures. I literally used to draw stick figures. And it drove me crazy. When I was about your age, actually, it drove me crazy that I could not draw exactly what I saw in my head. And that's part of growing up if you're interested in art. because you won't be able to draw exactly what you see in your head. And eventually you'll realize you need something to look at, a resource to look at when you draw, whether it be something that you're looking at in real life or whether it be, a picture. It will look a lot more real if you look at something while you're drawing it. Now, I wasn't, too concerned with looking at anything when I was drawing this sugar skull because it's stylized. It's not like a realistic, real life, it's not a real life picture. It's not a real life looking real skull. I do have one of those that I am working on actually for a party that I'm going to Friday, an art party, and it's themed water. So I painted, and I'll show it to you. I painted a picture of a skull. 1 second, I'll go grab it. It's a work in progress, but I started it last night, and it's not finished by any means, but it's a watercolor painting, and that's the beginnings of my skull right there. Not finished at all. So skull, and it's themed after water, so of course I painted a glass of water, and then there is the apple and the strawberry, which in art a lot of times the meaning behind it is that life is short. Just like fruit rots, we will all go to dust one day too. Not to be morbid, but it's Halloween, so have fun. Get these sugar skulls done. I'm going to give you a half sheet of paper, you might have already. You're going to draw it. I will play this video again if need be, so don't freak out, okay? You're okay, you're fine. You can draw this. I know you can. And if it helps, this is an upside down pear shape. So if it helps to get you started, to take this, turn it upside down, draw a pear so it's bigger down here than it is up here. You could do that if that helps. I don't know, it may or may not, but do me a sugar skull. I know you can.